Alrighty then, welcome back everybody. And yeah, I fixed the mic a bit, mainly because, well, I am not able fully to talk properly, but it should now work properly. So, if that is alright with you guys. So today I actually wanted to do some testing here and there to see if it actually works out how I wanted to be working out and see if this actually works. So no further ado, let's hope that this works. So, one of the things that I want to test out is technically double checking something here. So I'm going to be using a big brush here to double check this. So if I put this down like this, because I noticed that it was a little bit too thick lined, that's for sure. So it's either going to be moving downwards or moving upwards towards the idea. So right now I'm just using a dark color to, well, I'm using just black to see where I want to be with this and see if I can get this hair color a little bit more done properly. So let's see. No, that doesn't work. That means I need to move this upwards, which is kind of a big deal, not gonna lie. Alright, so just see if this works. So let me just grab this and then just carve over this line. Alright. Now what I want to do here is see on which end, well, when I want to, of course, switch this around. There you go. And now I move it upwards. A little bit upwards would actually not be bad. By doing that, I should be able to get to where I want to be with this. So technically the hair is not, well, fully workable perfectly, but yes. I technically need to move this bit a little bit upwards. So I have that bit there. I need this to be a little bit more upwards and that bit as well. So that's what I need to do. Alright, good. So I was right about that part. So no further ado, let's get this started. Let's just put all of this down the drain and then first do the bits that I need to do. So I need to go to here if I'm correct. That one. So let's move that one down and now grab. Can I technically do? No, I need to redo that afterwards. So I need to grab this one. I technically need to move the, come on, yeah. So what I need to do here is actually move this one a little bit upwards. So, oh, for fuck's sake, this is not the one I need. Where's the stupid one? There you, no, I'm looking for this one. Alright, now I can actually draw properly. Like that. Yes, like that, and then I technically need to fix that part as well. Okay, I can do this. I can fix the issue that I have with this, which is that the proportions of the face is not correctly aligning with the hair itself, which is the main issue. Because I still want to keep that, over overcut on the hair part over there. I just don't want to make it too extreme. So I actually wanted to make it a little bit less extreme. And that should do it. Or should I move it a little bit more like so? Oh. Should I move it in like so then instead? Maybe. And how about this? Yes. That should work. And after that, I need to make sure that I have the entire line work drawn, and then I need to have the entire work a little bit lessened, I think, because I need to squish it down a little bit, which is quite a problem actually. So yeah, I need to do a full redesign, well, full drawing part again. Great. Not ideal, but, you know, it happens. So now I have this, which means it's too overflown. As you can see, it's too much of an overflown. I need to make sure that I have the coloring as well in there. Where the hell did I left that? Okay, where's the hair? What the fuck? Where is the hair suddenly gone to? That's not the hair. So that is all that. That is all that. Where's then the hair be? That's the size. Where's the hair gone? I swear, sometimes things get a little bit confusing here. Okay, so I need to go... This is the line work, which is now out of shape. Which I also should fix a little bit. It's not too out of shape though, luckily, but yeah, I have moved it a little bit here and there. So I need to fix that. And then after that, I can actually then... Oh, I probably need to redraw a lot of things, but... There you go, then fix this bit. Fix that bit. So what is moved here is actually just the hair a little bit upwards. This will create the right proportion on the hair itself. If I'm correct, it's supposed to be in the... if I'm looking at this, it should be explaining it properly, I think. Where is it? Where's the stupid thing? Where's the explanation here? Is it here? Yeah, it's here. So, sorry. So, with the explanation, you have the hair coming from the... add the hair and pay attention to the volume. So that's what I'm doing now. I have the circle line work, and now I have actually the volume lessened. Well, technically it's a little bit more, but it's also lessened a lot. So yeah, that's what I did. And what I'm now trying to do is adding the volume lines a lot more better and more accurate. All right, cool. So now we've done that, we should be able to get towards the... where is it? Where is the fucking... Yeah, I swear, oh, there it is. So as you can see, the hair is now... Well, it's partially correctly placed again, but... Now, if you look at the hair, for instance, and I would remove... No, come on. And I remove the... hair instances that were left behind. Of course, there is now a lot, but it needs to be done. So now with the hair instances gone. I see I made a mistake here. Well, time to fix that. Hair, there it is. And then we're gonna just go back to fixing it because I need to do that. There you go, now I have that line back in there. And you can see because of how I moved it up. And what I now need to do is technically move the entire drawing down to fix on the thing. I could technically scale it down, but that is not wise because then I actually have to restart all over again, which is a terrible idea, to be honest. So technically I have this, so now I move it downwards like that, and now I have it back. So there you go. As you can see also now that because of how this looks, I could technically make it shorter. I could technically make this a little bit less of an issue. But then I need to make... Oh, what happens if I do this? Will I lose a lot of sharpness? That's the question. Alright, now I quit doing that. Yes, I will lose sharpness. That is terrible. That's a terrible idea. That's not gonna happen at all. So yeah, we're gonna be just moving it down. Shame, but for now I'm gonna be moving it down. Next time when I'm trying to draw, I will definitely move it upward. I will definitely do the sharpening again, but although I can technically do it, but then it takes so fucking long to get it back. But then again, I do have what I need for it, so I could technically do that. I just need to have this to be a little bit sharper. Alright, fine. We're gonna do a redraw then, I guess. Now that is fully workable. Or is this sharpened enough? It is sharpened enough. Alright, good. It's still not fully, it's not butchered, so that's the good part. So now let's get ourselves towards what I want to be doing, which is then of course fixing up the line work and the coloration on this. And as you can see, because I now made it a little more smaller, it fits again on the thing, and then afterwards I can just do whatever I need to do to get it fully back. So first things first, make sure that the coloring is correct. Because right now the coloring is not correct, it's missing a lot of detail. And you can see that because of the background work. Alright. Also now I can actually show you that technically the yellow bit was not necessary now instead of the last time. Because this time the yellow bit is not necessary because of how do you say that? Well, the greenish bit is not necessary because now the proportions on the hair are far more better than before. Before that, it was not there. It was not presented properly, and that caused a lot of issues with the perspective on the eye. Because when you look at something and then you see that the perspective is wrong on the character itself, you immediately know where the errors are. So right now I have some errors, alright? I have some errors with the hair. I think also one of the eyebrows is a little bit too thick, so I'm going to be changing that up. It's the left one. It's a little bit too thick lined, so need to fix that as well. But yeah, so because of the hair being a little bit too downwards, it caused the perspective on the face itself, so the roundness, so the roundabout, to be altered into an olive shape. And that is technically a thing that you want to avoid, because that makes the believability of the character look a little bit difficult and a little bit weird. Well, it's the believability that is getting shattered because of that. How do you say that properly? I think that's the right way to say it, right? Believability, which is technically a word to use to say that things are not looking as good as it should be. the believability. So technically, you know, you can imagine it, but it requires some effort. And you don't want that to happen. You want to actually have just a drawing and then have like, ah, right, I have drew this character and it looks like the character that I was thinking about. Instead of having a character and then it doesn't look anything like your imagination would have been. Which is the main concern when drawing, you know, hair. You need to make sure that it's in the right position. It's not as difficult as eyes, trust me, it's not. But still, you need to make sure that you are putting everything in the right positioning. So as you can see now, because of how I did do this work, you can also see that some of the parts are now empty. So some of the coloring is empty because of that, which then needs to be done again. So now I have done this, I have done that. I can technically now move this bit downwards, like so. Let's put that downwards, and now we actually have, you know, a character that does look nice and has a hair that actually does stand out, but it's not that much of a problem. I think I also need to make sure that I have that bit fixed. Yep. So let's fix this part up, because, you know, I'm a lot more better now than yesterday. I was absolutely fucking shattered yesterday. Mainly because when I was done with the stream, I immediately went to bed almost because of the fucking stupid tiredness that comes with it. It's like when you have almost no way of breathing properly, because this flu absolutely hits you in the lungs, which is terrible. It's a terrible flu, and I hate getting it, especially after visiting cats, which then immediately makes my nose go bleeding. And if my nose is bleeding, well, that is an absolute nightmare for me. So do I want to do that, or do I want to change this up? So I want to actually have this to be like so. No. So with that, I actually have this, which does make it look nice, I think. So let's just see what I want to go with this. So do I want to go for that kind of approach? No. Yes. So now I have a nice looking hair bit, which has a nice shine to it, so that's good. Now I need to make sure that that is actually properly created. All right. Good. Oh. Yep, I'm getting better at it, but now I need to get that bit done. So first things first, making sure that that bit is covered up. There you go, it's covered up. That bit is covered up. This bit needs to be covered up, because, you know, we don't want to go for anything that is here. Alright, then we're gonna go for the hair bits, which is not not one. So technically I can go for that, and that now still looks good. So yes, exactly. So first things first, I need to get finding out where, there it is. It's in the eye department. Where are the eyes? That's the eye, that's the eye part here. Let's fix this part up. All right. There it is. Now I'm gonna grab this one again and then make sure that that is properly placed. So we have now a nice looking airbrush. There you go. Now we're gonna be fixing up the eyebrow a bit, which is this one, because of how that looks. It is a little bit too big, a little bit too blurry, and I don't like it. Technically the blurriness came from resizing it a bit, but oh well. So that one, so this bit, it's a good approach, but I want to actually go for no. So let me see. I want to go for something like this. All right, hold up. Because I still think that is the right approach, but oh, for fuck's sake, that's not the right color. Yes, so let's go here. So technically it needs to be almost as long as that one. Like something like that. So do I want to go for that instead? Yep, that looks better. Yeah, that looks so much better. It's not as thick as it's supposed to be. Good. Now that we're done with that, where do I want to go now with this? So, I could technically leave it like this, and then have the hairstyle not aesthetic, which does help, not gonna lie. But I do want to add some more light towards the eyes. That is indeed a thing that I want to add, so let's do that instead. Which is here, right? So where is that stupid light green? Yeah. Alright, so I want to add some more yellow to it. And more yellow mean the yellow, and then of course making sure that's blurred out. There, much better. Okay, let's see. Eyes, second eye in the middle. Yes, that works. The ears are in the right positioning. Yes. The face is correct. Yes. All right, cool. Now I can move onwards to the next bit. So now I want to add in that line. Do I want to add something more to it? It does lack some detail in the line work. Let's fix that up, which is in this one because of the scaling. I technically did make it a little bit more smaller, so I should add that back in. Yes. Okay, then I need to get this one. Yes, that one, which is then this one. Yes. Make sure that that bit is gone. Make sure that that bit is gone. Now that thing is no longer doing that silly thing. Okay. Now I have done that. Now I can actually get this bit back if I want to. Technically, I can technically put this back if necessary. If not, I could. Now the question is, do I want to get this thing in there? I will probably want this to be like so. Now the question is, do I want this to be lowered? No. I want this to be as good as possible. But now is the question, do I want to keep it? Because technically I can just keep it like this. But then, you know, there is nothing much to it. I can technically remove some of it. And then, of course, add it back in like it should be. So only keep it on the low side, so only on the low parts, and then keep it around some bits of it, which does make it a lot more nicer to look at. Don't get me wrong here. I think that is actually quite suitable. So what I can do is technically make it a little bit of a juicy effect on it, like, you know, just make it a little bit happening. So right here, I can then just, of course, add in the dark color right here. And then add in the light color in the end over there. So now I have actually something to work with. And now I'm going to be doing this systematically. So I think making everything the same, making everything that color is not a smart move. Mainly because of, well, making everything having that effect is not a smart move. So I will not do that. Mainly because if I do that, then it will get overused, and then, you know, the things will lose its charm. And that will hurt the believability of the drawing itself, and that is bad. Bad for me, bad for you, because then you cannot see it properly. Alright, so there you go. And then we're gonna go back to the light color here. Alright, now I actually have done that. Then the question is, do I want that? Do I want this to be there? Because technically I can keep it that way. And then just keep the same thing in here with that bit right there. Like if I keep it like here, that should also work, right? And then have it here, maybe in color effects, like maybe here. Because clearly some of the bits are not suitable for it. That's clearly a thing that is happening. So these plums are not suitable for, so these plums are not going to be suitable for it. I could technically make it happen around 2 from the 3 places, so I can make it happen here as well. Alright, what the hell is going on here? I see that I made a mistake in the line work here. Need to fix that. Cannot have that happening. There's an overlapping in the line work here, so yeah. Alright, so what I can do here is, of course, adding in the lighter effect. Well, darker and lighter effect, and hopefully get to where I want to be with this. Now I have actually everything on that side with that set. Fucking hell. Dang it. Yep. This is such a pain in the ass too. Deciding where to place them is very difficult when you're trying to figure out things. Because the character itself has not been fully designed yet, so that's the whole point. Let's see. Bada bing, bada bong, there you go. And then we're gonna go to the visual novel. And then we're gonna go to chapter 1. And then we're gonna go to Lola, and I need to go for this. So the approach itself is not fully workable, but yes. What I technically want still happening is technically that effect that is still please don't fucking crash. Good, you're not crashing. Good. So this was 4 years ago, I believe. But yeah, so this was the idea. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there you go. So still the same thing idea, but the main problem here is that this does not look nice. So I need to figure out how to get that effect to the right amount. So I'm thinking maybe going for something like that, maybe? So make it like so. So make it like that. Yes. Alright, so that is indeed a thing I need to do. So I need to follow it up and make sure that it actually flows with the hair. So how about this? Or do I need to go this one to this? And then to that. Ooh, that might work. Stripe. Alright, then we're gonna go for the darker color and make sure that that part is fully covered. And how about filling up this gap? Alright. Now I have done that part. And there. Almost lost my voice again. Great. So now where do I want to place this bit? Do I want to place it here and then place it here a bit? Like, do I want to place it like big time? Over here? No, because that makes the frontal view wrong. So no, I want not that here, because otherwise the face itself, this effect will go away. So allow me to show you. 1, 2, 3. And then if I change this color up to this one, and because I have this bit and that bit like that, it still gives that feeling towards, you know, the hair flow with that part right there being still stuck. So yes, this bit needs to be still the same. So I'm not going to be changing, I'm going to be getting the frontal view not into the face, because then you have the face looking forward towards it, and then you have three plums that are still, you know, normal looking at, because they're not having that yellow into it. So you technically look at the face instead of having the face smushed, covered. Yeah, that's the word for it. So because you have the face covered, it then distracts you from looking at the hair in total, and you also get distracted into looking at the face in total, which then causes you to not look at the image at all, because of the colors that then are used. And because it's then overused, it is no longer pleasing towards the eye of the beholder. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, because of that, it's not great. So now I'm going to be looking at like, all right, what do I want to then do? I want this one to be there, and I want this one to be there. Why do I want these things to be there? Because of how that works. So these two I can actually still use. So these two are absolutely gonna be like that, because they don't ruin the face of the beholder. I forgot to put shading into the hair on the bottom side. I'll do that immediately. Dang it. I always forget that they also have shading. There you go. So now, because we have the face of the beholder, but we don't have, because now we have actually, you know, a viewpoint to look at it. So if you, for instance, look at it from a distance, so if I just take a look from it from a distance, I can still see the face, I can still see the hairstyle. It's no longer like a big giant pony that is in front of the face, so it's no longer, well, it still represents it, but it is no longer too much into the eyes. So fucking hell. So the proportions are not off. So the proportions are no longer off. The eyes are actually the main central point because of how the yellow is placed. So that's a lot better than before, because before that we actually had just yellow. So because everything is yellow, it does have a problem. The same goes for this one. Because everything is this one has a very much a proportion problem, but do not worry about that one. But yeah, because everything is yellow. So because everything is yellow, come on. Yeah, there you go. So here's as well. Because everything is yellow, you don't have it doesn't have the right feeling towards it when you look at it. It is too intertwined with the hair itself, so it's no longer that special towards it. So like if you look at this, for instance, because of everything being yellow, the face is no longer the main central point of the drawing, but the hair point on the right side is, and not the midsection itself, which is a problem. And with this one, as you can see, you still have the midsection, or you still have the right section that is, you know, visually shown, and of course being different and out of proportion. So because it's like a long hair, it still pays your attention. But now if you then look backwards, so if you then look back towards the central position, so let me just get this to the right position here. Alright, so let me just grab red and then I will show you. So because you look at this point right here, alright, you look at this point right here, that is the big giant marker, And because you look at that point, it can move. All right, so you look at this point, you see this, and then you go back to the midsection. Because of the midsection, because there is nothing in the way of the hair bits, so because there is nothing in the way of the hair bits, you look at the eyes, which then of course feels like you're being watched by the character itself. So that's good, because the character now actually looks towards you instead of, you know, not in the face, because of the hair proportions being a little bit difficult. Then, because you can go here, you can also go back to this side. So you still have the effect that you can continuously flip around, so you can still continuously get towards the position. So this is one of the positions, this is one of the positions, and the main center point is here. Because of that, you create a loop between, let me just get a little bit more thicker. You get a loop between this point, that point, and that point right here. Also, one of the points is this one, and that bit. So because of that, the central point still remains the same. So if you just move one, if you move around, when you look around, so if you look around, you can still see that wherever you go, you can still see that all the points are still pointing towards you. So all the points of the drawing itself are central piece of the drawing. Central piece of the drawing? Yeah, central piece of the drawing. And because of that, the entire drawing itself comes forwards towards you, but you still have step by step. So you still have like, oh, I can look at this part, and then you see the other part, and then you look at the other part, and then you see the other part. Which means that because of you having step by step, you don't get overflown by the thing. So allow me to just get back here, and then just pick up the other drawing. So if I now go to the drawing expression right here, for instance, and we're gonna go here, and we're going to compare this one towards here, it has a different approach. So this one is very calm, very collective in approaching the viewer towards the face. So it has a very nice central point that you can just pinpoint exactly where you want to see the person. And then it goes back, and then you spot both points, and it's very nice to look at. For instance, with this one, it's overflown. So because this was the old drawing, you have an overflown. One of the main issues with this one also is that the hair itself is, as you can see, it's a little bit too big. So it's a little bit too, well, too big actually, honestly, I think. Right? Let's see if I know I did it correctly, right? I absolutely made it. Well, it is a smaller, it's a smaller drawing, but yes. Yes. So if I pick this one, for instance, I'm not going to be saving this, by the way. So because you have the point right here, you have the point right here, and the point right here. This point is almost forgettable, because this is always getting your attention. So you have the 3-point system that is always giving you the attention to one point. So you always look at this every single time. The main problem with that is if you then look at it again and again and again, it will get you very tired very quickly when you look at it. I think this one has a far more better approach, because now the eyes are far more getting towards you. With this one, the eyes, it's missing that spark, that same spark that oh boy, no. Okay, so it's missing that spark. So I'm not gonna be saving this. No, I'm not gonna be saving that. So when you look, for instance, at that one, for instance, yeah, that one has it. So with Rufina, for instance, you have the effect that is actually all around. So you have every single thing that you have. Yeah, this one is a little bit pushed against each other, but that is because I didn't order them correctly. Oh well, that is mainly because I actually did an experimentation to get these things in that part. So technically, I need to go for this one. That one is a sharp one. Yeah, that one is a sharp one. So with this one, for instance, you have every single thing to be having that point, but that's not a problem because it's a very gentle red one. With this one, for instance, it's a far more aggressive green. So because it's a far more aggressive green, you can technically make the green happening. So you can technically put the green back in there. But when you do that, let's see if I put the green back. So if I put the green back, for instance, so I'll just put the green back. So because I put the green back, I can get this. I can get this kind of approach. And because of that, I can get a center line effect. It's not great because I don't want to have a center. I actually don't want to have this center line effect on it because it makes the hair a little bit too crap. It makes the effect a little bit too much of a problem. Because if I now remove it again, you can see that the hair approach is still the same, but you don't have this line right here that is shown when you do the green. So because of this, so because I draw over this, I draw over this, I draw over this, you have this center line. You have this center line that is going to be shown. The problem with that center line is that this line will be very, very visible because of that. So the hair extension will be very visible, which is a bit of a problem because if you take a look at it and you create that effect and you create a visible line, you take away the center line is then over here. So the eyes that are looking, they are looking at this and they see this line in particular. But because of that, this is not a center line. So when you then look at the eyes that are looking at you, so when they are looking at you wherever they go, because of that, the eyes won't look back at you from this angle. And that's a problem because of the center line that is created. And when you remove the eye, when you remove the center line is actually in the eyes itself, and therefore you actually see them as the eye itself that is looking into the drawing itself. It does create, however, a little bit of a weird effect, which is then that this is gonna get an overlap. So this is overlapping, but on the plus side, it actually does create a far more pleasing aesthetic, I think. At least that's my opinion upon it. I could technically try to make, because this is the drawing in total, and I need to go here. So let me just try this one thing. Because technically, yes, I want to have every single piece a little bit of that effect. So technically, I want this to happen. So technically, I want this. But I cannot afford that because of how the center lines will be formed, because of this bit of the hairstyle, I believe. So even if I do this and then add this one there, it will most likely create the center line that I don't want. Because now it actually takes away the thing. I could technically do it. I could technically make it happen. I'm gonna be trying to do it and see how it works and how it turns out, because I have a strong feeling that it actually doesn't turn out great, but oh well. Let's figure it out if it actually does do the thing that I was assuming it would do. So if I do this, then add in the darker color. So does that good looking? No, it does not, because it does exactly what I said. It does create the effect that I don't like. It creates the effect that absolutely centralizes this line right here, so the stupid line right there, which is technically not what I want. So if I remove this again, we have a far more better look into the eye. So technically this way, this eye right here will get highlighted, which is a very good thing to have. Because technically I can always do this, like, you know, and then do that. And this happens when you have that full line work right there, which is bad because, you know, the eyes don't show up. Also, it's quite funny to see this and be like, and then of course, you know, just shut. Yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, this looks so much more pleasing. All right, so with that said, time to do the saving again and get the thing back into the business. Oh wait, I forgot something. And I'm feeling a lot more better than yesterday, mainly because, well, you know, the flu is finally kicking off. Holy shit, that took way too long, by the way. But yeah, I think tomorrow I will be a lot more better shape. There you go. Nice. Alright, so now I'm going to be saving this like that. And then, of course, saving it again like so. And then I'm going to be saving it as the PNG version as well, so that we don't ruin that. So yeah, we now actually determined that the midsection will be just clear, because that it will create a better space on it. It also makes the long hair part far more indistinguishable from the front of the face. And having only one side of the pluck being colored and then the three midsections not, it does create that old-fashioned move of hold up, first saving it as the web PNG as well, to absolutely ruin somebody's day, because web PNGs are absolutely terrible to use, mainly because they absolutely don't consist, they are not very good at having the right formation or format in it. So all of the things are gone then, all the data. So now I done that, I can then open back the craft file. So now we have that back in there, and you can see this was how we are now at it. And because of that, I will show you what I mean here. So because of red or blue, red is actually quite good for this. So because we have a line right here and a line right there, this line follows up by these two, and we have a line right here and a line right there, and with the darker color right here. So let's make that pure dark. No, that's not obvious. Yeah, let's go for green. Screw it. So, and with the green here, we actually have the long hair presented right here and right there, which is good because that means that we actually have the pluck, the the 1 block, 2 block, 3 block right here properly placed. And by not coloring them up, you don't create you don't remove the importantness of these lines right here. So you don't take away the importantness of these lines, which is why I actually didn't want to go for that as well. Also that and this one being highlighted because of those coloring is terrible. Because technically you want to have to focus on this line instead of that line. Alright, so yeah, I hope that clears up the idea of what I was aiming for. So yeah, now that we're done with that, I can now actually save this again, and now we're good to go. So that's great, and I actually fixed it in 4 hours. So what do I want to do now? Well, I could technically start with drawing the menu, but nah, I'm not gonna be trying to do that right now. So, I'm gonna be, I don't need to say this 3 times in a row. But yeah, so I hope you'll enjoyed for now, and yeah, that is gonna be concluding it for today, I think. And then tomorrow I will work further on it. Ugh. And hopefully then my flu is fully the flu is then fully gone, which would be very helpful, honestly. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it for now, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, I want to wish you a lovely day, and bye.